2 weeks have come and gone. It's off to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. They'll throw on first down with Wilson. Flush to his right. Now he'll pull it down. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
You know, I don't think this is the last time we'll see that in this game. This guy has mobility, and they want to use his legs in the game plan. So there'll be designed runs as well as his scrambles.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Rashad Penny. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Wilson leaves this one with Penny. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Now Wilson. The catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 21.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. From the shotgun, Wilson. Forced out to his left. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Looking for Perriman, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Will Harris. Past the 10 to the 11-yard line, and that's where the return stops. He's coming off a 3-interception performance last week, so certainly not how he wanted to start here.
Not at all, but this is where a quarterback gets tested. This is where we find out what he has underneath that jersey, because he had a bad game last week. Can he shake off a bad start to this one and start to perform at the level he expects?
And not much here as he'll get it to the 11, maybe the 12-yard line.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. He was looking to get it to Jarvis Landry that time, and it's 3rd down.
Let's go. 90, Wolf. 54. Check. Come.
Operating from the gun, Lawrence. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. And all the way to the opposite 48. A big play there for Detroit. And even 40 yards.
Now that one hurts defensively. They forced them into 3rd and long, had the advantage, yet they give up the big play right there.
Yeah, their offense was already warming up on the sideline, ready to come out. So much for that 3-and-out. And all this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. 20. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. There are several elements to a well-executed screen pass. This one resulted in a touchdown. It had all of those elements.
Yeah, you're so right because you really need the rush to almost get to the quarterback, almost get to the passer. Then you got to get the ball thrown perfectly, whether it's to the running back, the wide receiver, whoever the screen guy is. And, of course, the blocking has to form in front to get him downfield for the touchdown.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
On 2nd down, here's Penny. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
380.
Third and long. It's Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Trey Flowers, the former Arkansas Razorback, in there to get him.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return, and the Lions will take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And they'll be looking to make this a 2-score advantage. Had the touchdown on their first drive, Charles. Hey, they can get up 2 scores here on the road. That's a heck of a start.
And not only have they thought about it, I wonder if they visualized it. I remember playing and they used to turn the lights out in our meeting room and run through a situation like this and say, just think about what it would be like to be up on the road and take the crowd out of it. Maybe they did some of that.
A good pickup there, 26 yards. This quarterback now already over 100 yards passing in just this first quarter. It's 1st and 10.
Hey, Foxtrot.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. Not much there, maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's 2nd and 8. Complete. It's Johnson. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a 1st down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. The end result, 21 yards. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Once again with Sanders. And he's going to pull his way down to about the 1-yard line. A very valuable 9-yard pickup, and now they're set up a little better here for 3rd and goal. This stadium once registered as the loudest roar ever recorded, and you can hear them now. 3rd and goal. They'll try to run with Sanders. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what, right?
Yeah.
This is an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run.
And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Lions are able to extend their lead.
Oh, this is what I love about calling these games. 4th and goal. This is all about leverage, who wants it more, and who's going to get it done at the point of attack, the line of scrimmage.
Bullock good on the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line.
Here we go.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. Even with the good gain, I thought they might accept that one.
Yeah, you thought maybe they'd go with the downs as opposed to the yardage. So if you're taking the yardage now, 2nd and less than 5, that tells me you feel good about how your offense is working.
2nd and 2 now. The penalty leaves them in pretty good shape. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And this is scooped up by the Lions. Does the big boy have the juice? And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20.
I know that taking care of the football is something that's drummed into every guy who plays this position, no matter what, whether he's running it, in the pocket, out of the pocket. But it's almost surprising to me that there aren't more fumbles by that position because of the way that they get attacked on each and every play.
Now, we had the fumble last week. Now, here's 2 weeks in a row with a fumble loss.
Concentration has got to be there, and he's got to understand how much time he has to take care of a play. And maybe his clock is off just a little bit.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. It's a 2nd down run with Sanders. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
And it's 3rd down. 15 line. 15 line.
Stop your whining.
From the gun, Lawrence. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. Here's Bullock now for the extra point.
Now that touchdown won't allow you to totally relax, but you can breathe a little easier now. Just increased their lead.
Following following the touchdown. Here's McLaughlin to kick off. This is fielded at the goal line. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Throwing is Wilson. He's got Lockett. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one good for 24 yards.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Now Rashad Penny. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Well, what's the plan of attack here? Very late second quarter, and look where the ball is.
Yeah, bad spot for you. But the defense has all 3 timeouts. So what you're telling your team is ball security number 1. It's not all on the running backs if you decide to run the football. That offensive line has got to protect them and wedge out some space because you can't just kneel. They take 3 timeouts. They're going to get the ball back in good field position with a chance to put points on the board. You've got to try and get a first down and run out this first half.
2nd and 9 now. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. Johnson was the intended receiver, and it'll bring up 3rd down. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. On 3rd down, they turn to Sanders. And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. This will be taken about the 12. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30.
at their own 31-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10. And I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. Back to throw. Lawrence. He's got his man, T.J. Hockenson. First down, Detroit. 16 yards on the pickup.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. They were looking for Johnson that time. And it's 2nd down. To throw again, Lawrence. And he's got the hook up to Landry. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good hit.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
To me, the defense was looking a little gassed near the end of the first half, but they've come out of the locker room with a little extra spring in their step. Wonder what they did at halftime to get them so motivated.
I don't know, but that sack looked good. Now let's see if they can build on the momentum of that play. And now the punt team couldn't get ready in time, and this is going to be a delay. And that'll set them back 5. Here comes the Lions punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. He gets this away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And he'll get nothing out of that one. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Now, they couldn't get anything going there out on the right side in the flat of the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
They get 17 on that one, move the chains, 1st down Seahawks.
One of the advantages of zone defenses, I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Well, they were unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Throwing again here, Wilson. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Telvin Smith. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball. And I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their own 44. They start on the ground here at Sanders. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. 2nd and 11. He gets this one to Johnson. First down, Lions on a pickup of 13.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
On 1st and 10, Lawrence. Looking left side, that's caught by Landry. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
2nd and a yard at the 35-yard line.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll run with Sanders. And an alley to run. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. First down, Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup.
A gain of 16 yards. First down, Lions.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Ready, set.
Tackles.
Now.
Right back to Sanders on first down. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13. Good gain there on first down. It keeps him in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him. He ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be third down. Looking to throw. Lawrence. That's complete right around the 8. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
Ready, 10 logo.
Check 55, Mike. Let's go, D.
They'll run with Sanders. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown of the game and 4th on the year. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. Now Bullock to add the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
A gain of 3, second down. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Now they'll run it again with Penny. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much through the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
I'm not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, they want to ride him down this.
And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 33. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. That's always puzzled me a little bit.
On 3rd down, they'll run it with Sanders. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. That's good for 9 yards as they convert on the 3rd down play.
8-3.
Check Mike 54. Mike.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme, and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing on 1st down. Lawrence. He's going to look deep now for Landry. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, 2nd down. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10.
You must be drinking.
That one looks like he'll throw here. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. Operating from the gun, Lawrence. He's got his man. That's Landry. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 12-yard line.
And they just hit another big completion there. And I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
It's the age-old argument. Then you could say on the other side, if you're going to get angry about it, stop it, right?
Go ahead and stop me. And I think a lot of the times they just look at it like, let's just play the game. And however it turns out, it turns out.
Another run with Sanders. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down.
Ricky.
From the gun, Lawrence. And this will be caught. Well, forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? Because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit-crushing, wasn't it? And now you just kind of felt the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
The extra point up and good, but this one was decided anyway, as that will be the final action in this ball game. In overtime, you have to be smarter than that.
A personal foul just can't happen. Have to have poise.
So we had action to the very end of this one. The score on the final play that they didn't need to